We're live now, Rob.
Oh, hello, Danny. Hello, Danny. My name is Rob, and I'm here to talk to Danny about an exciting in the world of Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenging. And before we get into the videos and go through everything that happened in the wide world of Ponzi schemes and scams and everything else allegedly true, it's been a tumultuous year for you, Danny.
I love that word. Can I use it?
Oh, I wish I knew what it meant.
Tumultuous. It reminds me of something like you have on the farm when you're sort of like getting rid of some wood and you're putting it through one of those machines and putting it on the fertilizer. Is that tumultuous? Is it a mulcher?
Tumultuous, yeah. So I'm just going to rattle through a few things that have happened.
Okay.
The Guardian.
Yep.
You were in The Guardian. You got interviewed by Bloomberg.
Hold it a minute. It can't just go past The Guardian. I spent like weeks helping the reporter out. She published 14 articles and I got a wee paragraph on the 14th article.
Yeah, I know. But just because you got more than you deserve, we shouldn't really dwell on Bloomberg. How much did they mention you after all of the ins and outs?
Nothing.
Excellent. Okay, so this has been a tumultuous year. You attended the Global Financial Crime Summit. Briefly tell us about that.
That was the best thing I've ever done with my pants on. But that's my badge. Oops, you can see. Oops. There we go. Proof that I've been. That was amazing. 150 delegates from all around the world fighting crime. And they were trying to bridge a gap between the public sector and the governments so that they could work together closer. So I was invited to go. In fact, I had my tickets shouted to go over there, which was friggin' amazing. So it was a real privilege.
Look, absolutely fantastic. That's some of the really fascinating stuff. You also had your Facebook account taken off you, did you?
Well, apparently I'm running a big scam, and Facebook haven't got time to listen to me when I complain about people. So somebody else who's got more clout than I have managed to close down my Facebook account. So after having Facebook accounts since, 2004 or 2014? I don't know. It's gone. I'm not missing it, though.
You haven't got it back?
No, and I can't get it back because they're very tricky. Because I was having a yarn to somebody who said, why don't you just set up another account? And I go, it's a bit more complicated to that because every time you put a device on their network, they now block your MAC address. So there's no way in hell I'm never going to get it back. It's just gone. Unless I buy new hardware and then try to act like a sleuth. And then I think, what do I need Facebook for? Give me one reason, Rob, why I need Facebook.
I don't think you do. It's all full ads. But I don't want to digress. I want to keep moving along. Your YouTube channel seems to have been attacked lately.
25,000 subscribers last night. And today we sit at 9,700. But 4 days ago, we sat at 8,500.
I know. It is quite bizarre. I was watching it the other day. Yesterday, in the last 24 hours, and it was like 25,000 or something. And then I refreshed it, and it was 13,600.
Yep. So if you ever want to save yourself from, because what happens is the scammers are fighting back, and they know that if they send fake traffic or fake subscribers to my YouTube channel, I could lose my YouTube channel. So if you ever have that happen to yourself, do you know what you do?
What do?
You write to YouTube and you say, I'm a victim. I didn't want these fake subscribers. Get rid of them. And they clean it all up for you.
Mate, well, at least you're being proactive. Now, what's this about Trustpilot?
Trustpilot. Yes, I get Trustpilot reviews. And I've learned, hey, I tell you what, Rob, something that people don't realise, every time something like this happens, I learn the systems. And I learn how to beat the systems. So Trustpilot is a lot of fun because you get somebody writing a review, then you go back and you say, well, prove that we've done business together.
I wouldn't even thought about that.
Yeah, and they can't. So then they basically lose their clout, and then you basically wait 10 days and it gets removed. But I have had one of the reviews, I've had about 25 of them, and one of the reviews stayed because somebody at Trustpilot that wasn't an AI decided to make an informed decision. And my only review that I have on Trustpilot is a negative one, but they reckon that they were true, so they left that one. They've got one review on Trustpilot with 1-star review. It's brilliant. I don't even use Trustpilot. However, I did set up a Trustpilot for Liquid Pay, and I've reversed the psychology of it all and given them a 1-star review, even though I am the person that owns liquidpay.com.
Good grief.
It's brilliant.
Tell me about WhatsApp. Did you lose that?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you ever want to report, because I learned so much, if you ever want to report anyone on WhatsApp, when you do it, they give you the last 5, they give WhatsApp the last 5 messages posted. So the idea of somebody tries to promote you a scam on WhatsApp, you just make sure they condemn themselves. So you say, isn't this a Ponzi scheme? And they go, no, no, no. And you go, no, I've heard about it in the blah, 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 blah. And you write 5 convincing messages to prove it's a scam. And then you report them. And you basically have your WhatsApp removed for 24 hours until they review it and put you back again. However, when I lost my Facebook account, Facebook owns WhatsApp. So I lost Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp all in a day at the same time. So I learnt they were all connected. But now I've got my Instagram back, and I've also got my WhatsApp back. I think WhatsApp would be the one I'd worry about the most.
Unbelievable. And somebody or some bodies created YouTube channels specifically to take you down. What's that all about?
Yeah, it's a mixture, because I think one of them was Jan Gregory, because half an hour after a video went up, he basically posted a comment basically saying how good it was. So there'd be no way anyone would know that video was online with a YouTube channel with no visitors, you know what I'm saying? And then the other one is May Summervu. She's in dire straits at the moment because she can't start up her scam business, and I've been doing my best to make sure. So she's set up a channel, I've forgotten what it's called, but something about YouTube fight back with Danny DeHeck, he's a scammer. Real convincing.
Yeah. Mate, it's been all go. Lawsuits. Now, I can't even think where I was, but when some people in New Zealand threatening a lawsuit or something like that?
I've had a few threats. In fact, I wrote a blog about this very video that we're doing right now before we launched it, and I did actually put, if I had $1 for every lawsuit or every threat I got about a lawsuit, I'd be rich. But the reality is I actually have had, I had my $3.8 million defamation case, but the guy wouldn't put security up for costs, so they all fell apart. But he still had to pay my legal fees of $27,500 after he lost. Not that he's paid them, but that doesn't really matter here in New Zealand. We can just ring up debts. It's great.
Yeah. And there was something about a couple of Australian guys.
Oh, yeah. I got picked up by the airport by a lovely guy. And he's nice. I won't say his name because every time I say his name, he complains about defamation. But his first name's Craig. And he's a good guy because he's been helping people get their money back. And he's doing a £3.4 million class action lawsuit for another scam that he was the head of in Australia. And he decided to befriend me because he thinks he can help people who have lost all their money in Hyperverse in a class action lawsuit. But the trick is that he charges everyone 9% of whatever they lost, and they have to pay it in advance. And there's this little wee clause in the contract that basically says if he's not successful, then you'll never get your money back. So as long as he doesn't do anything, he's all good.
Interesting. And of course, that kind of reminds me of when Hyperverse was going strongly, and there's all those social media accounts about Hyperverse, and every time you put a comment anywhere, there are all these bots came in with, I use blah, blah, blah to get my money back, and you can contact them, and blah, blah, blah. So this is the year in review, and if we zoom back to, December the 30th, 2023, which I was away on holiday in Tauranga, but I can remember this was the Christmas present time, wasn't it? That, a week or 2 or 3 leading up to now. This was Boomerang's liftoff, wasn't it, Danny?
Well, that's right. We had Tammy and Gobi helping out in the promotion of this. They were basically at that stage where it was like, game on, let's get into this and let's promote Boomerang, because that was the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, now if you have a look, yeah, exactly. For any of the viewers out there, we've got the thumbnails. These are the videos. We're not going to cover the lives or the shorts tonight, but we're going to go through the videos really, really quick and just kind of recap everything that happened. So Boomerang came along. It was the Christmas present, but of course people had to buy their Christmas present, and we'll find out later how that turned out for them. There's Danny doing a little snippet there about the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, and I see that you got 1,000 views for Boomerang, 667 for Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, so not too bad in the scheme of things. Now, you're talking about the Anzac crypto whalers exposed. Tell people, what are the Anzac crypto whalers?
Well, they were the Australians that travelled over to Dubai to meet Sam Lee at the time. Because Sam Lee's out of the picture, but he's in the last 12 months. He was still, 12 months ago, Sam Lee was the man. Everyone was over there worshipping the ground he walked on like he was Jesus or a Messiah. And then all of it, now he's totally out of it, even been detained in Dubai, which we'll get to. But that's amazing. So that was just Yvonne Henry and Kate Longley, who was a school teacher, who decided to go over there and have lunch with Sam.
Unbelievable. So we fast forward and we come up to Hypertext Hyperfund official launch. So that was obviously a throwback to 2020. You must have been having some fun there. And your next video is Hypertext Group organizational chart. Anything you want to say about that? Has anything come of Hyperfund, Hypertech, anything like that?
No, nothing really. But the reason I put back the Hyperfund video is because there was evidence of the people having multiple accounts, and also evidence of people doing peer-to-peer transactions, which ironically they're doing now. So the point of putting some of these older videos back was just to prove that it's nothing new what they're doing now. They learned a lot of the stuff that they're doing from Hyperverse days.
And the R&R, rinse and repeat.
And that one of Carl Miller there was actually Bob bringing up Carl Miller and giving him a hard time and trying to use logic with him. It's just a video, a voice recording, but it was so good and well done. Boomerang CTO, remember what that stood for? No, I forgot.
Chief Officer.
Chief what?
Chief Technical Officer.
My
memory is me.
Yep. No, I think you're right. And Carl's Carl's a funny one there. So some of the videos you're about to see are quite groovy. Like, we've got evidence of Chavis here working for Hyper One, and also Stable Opinion and Stable Deo, which sort of doesn't really tie in with what he claims he did originally, because he's claiming he's got his own IT company based back in India, and he does services for Marvel Studios, and he's created AI that everyone in the world uses, and now he's decided to throw all that away and be the head of taking over where Sam left off, which is really unusual. But if you know his history, it's even more fascinating.
So We Are All Satoshi and Boomerang weren't his first rodeo, so to speak, and I thought it was quite funny watching Chavez. Of course, he was Chavez Anwar then, wasn't he?
Well, he still is theoretically, and he owes me 10 grand, the prick. That's right.
He found his name. So, yeah. That was him, and of course his presentation skills changed dramatically. You've got Sam Lee there, break silence on 1.89 billion fraud charges. What was that about? Can you remember?
I can't actually, to be honest. I think he might have been talking about his connection with Hyperverse at the time, and I do know. Actually, there was a paper, there was a document that came out, basically, and he was charged for his connection to Hyperverse, which was the $1.9 billion fraud charges. So I'm assuming in that video, because there's been a few, that he was talking about how he's okay, well, it's not going to phase him at all, and that's not the reason why he's stepping away from, at the time, We Are All Satoshi, I believe, was about for him to step away from it all.
Right, this is actually quite interesting, because what shows up for your videos and what shows up for mine are not the same here, as I've just realised. But you've got Vend business model and Sam Lee and project owners. Now, Vend was VidiLook the end kind of thing? There were previous
Yes.
video looks?
There was VideoLook 1 and 2 because they relaunched it. And then they decided that they would do Vend, which stands for VideoLook with no end. And then they had Vend 3 and Vend 4, I believe. Just so you know where you are, Rob, this here is the videos which I have. So most of my videos are recorded live. And these are the videos that I record live. And when I get some really good content, I normally chop them up and put them onto my real video section. And that might be why you're seeing different. You might be in the live section rather than the video section.
No, I'm in the video section.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what's going on there, but we'll see how we go. So just trying to work out where we go next. So if we go up to the next one, you've got Hyper One corporate Zoom, and of course, how much before the beginning of 2024 was Hyper One? Like, when was that? About 2021, 2022, or?
Well, when Sam got kicked out of Australia, ran away to Australia with $58 million, he went into hiding for about 8 months, and we never heard from him. So it was only when he popped back up, we heard that Hyper One was going to be launched. And no one actually believed it, that he was actually the man behind the scene, because Ryan Joe and Sam Lee had disappeared. So when the conniving started, it must have been about, I don't know, eight months after Hyperverse fell over.
Yeah, he came out and he was trying to ask questions and ascertain what the situation is, and kind of liaising between the community and corporate, whoever corporate were. I kind of remember that. The next video there you've got is Hyperverse due diligence exposing past deception. Do you think in the last year you've seen people use more due diligence than past years?
No, I don't. They're all stupid. They just don't do any due diligence. They just want to blindly believe some leader. It's like a cult presence. We must admit, though, if we go back to this $1.9 billion scam, that's Sam Lee being thrown under the bus and being connected. And then, like you just said before, we had Sam Lee being reintroduced to the hyper community like he was a hero. And he was going to lead them out of the wilderness, so to speak, if you believe in the Bible. And so he was trying to rekindle the Hyperverse community, and he was actually alleging that he's going to bring Hyperverse back, or there was a slimmer of hope that he could actually get people's money back, because he was going to liaison to the people who were behind Hyperverse. But it was all very sketchy and hidden behind NDAs and the whole 9 yards. So from memory, I've done about 500 to 600 videos this year, and unless we open them up and start listening to what we're not going to do, there's a lot of historical timeline information that's in these videos, and that's why I've got them online. So if we ever need to dive into the historical timelines, that's what these videos will actually do, because it got stupider this year as time went, especially when Sam got kicked. The highlight of the whole year was Sam getting kicked out of his own company, and that's what we'll cover.
Yeah, well, that was, as I was thinking about, actually 2023, not in the last year. So that's how time has flown past. So you got Sam Lee and Chavez Anwar presenting Hyper One. Now, if we go up, we've got, what have we got? Types of crypto scams and how to spot them. Now, you've been quite vocal in trying to encourage or educate people in how to spot a scam. Do you think that scams are getting bigger? Do you think there's more people that are getting involved in crypto projects that could be not as they seem, or do you think the numbers are getting smaller from what you've seen?
I think it's a catch-22. I think they're getting more desperate, the type of clientele they go after. They seem to be moving on to third world countries and going after. So I'm getting a lot of people from India, Nepal, what's the other one? Kenya, and where's the other countries they go? And they've just done a campaign in Vietnam. So I think they're going after these easy-to-take countries who believe people on their face value and will believe anything they get told. But then I wouldn't like to be caught in a dark alley with a whole lot of angry Vietnamese people, just saying.
Yeah, well, interesting, because I do know that around about the time I decided to exit stage left. The numbers were really huge, but I think they've kind of tailed off a little bit now. This one here, 102,000 scam. This was a promissory note. Now, Sam Lee was in that, so that must have been in 2023, but those people are still involved, aren't they?
I can't get over why these people haven't. This couple here had already lost a lot of money in scams, they said, and I think could be Hyperverse, because I know that Yvonne Henry, who's holding that piece of paper up, she's showing them a promissory note from another couple that just lost $51,000. And in here, we've also got Sam Lee writing a new promissory note. So each of them took out their superannuation money and gave it to Sam Lee on a piece of paper. And in here, you've got Yvonne Henry, who would have received 20%, if not more, of their money just for introducing them into this opportunity. And this video was a private video that when she was on a Zoom meeting, she flipped between screens and I managed to see a link and I typed it in manually, and I was the very first person to watch this video. So I'm blown away by the fact, this is my video of the year, but I'm blown away that this couple has never reached out to me. And I've shown this to the ATO, ASIC, and I've tried to get action, and no one has given me any feedback on it. So there's a couple out there that's lost 100 grand, well, 102 grand, and there they are. I've got their names, I've got the culprits, I've got Sam Lee, I've got everything that a news media article would want, and nothing's happened. And that's why we disrupt these meetings, because there's no stopping these bastards.
So on the next video there was Sam Lee's Where All Satoshi is Scam or Legit. Well, the California state had something to say about that. That was probably toward the end of 2023, but in there is a photo of Gobi. Is he still involved in anything at the moment?
Well, Gobi was doing a lot of voice commands, and we were, not voice commands, but doing voice recordings. And we picked up a few of them, and some of them were so incriminating that we had to make a video, and that's why there's no pictures in some of these videos, they're just recordings. But very condemning, and very, he hated this. He tried to put a copyright strike out on this very video, and I had to wait 10 days before it got back on again, because I was using it under fair use. So they don't want this content online, and I fight to get it back online. Which makes me laugh in a wee way. But now I've learned so much about, every time I get banned from something, I learn about something. So it's quite powerful what we're doing at the moment, because I'm actually surprised that some of these videos are actually on the internet.
We take a change of tack here, Danny, if you scroll over to the next one. How to tie a tie, the full Windsor, half Windsor. Look, I have to say, I encourage you to do these, and I'm a little bit shocked at the lack of uptake here. 109 and 91 views, respectively.
Well, ironically, I was the best man in a wedding yesterday, and the guy assumed I couldn't tie a tie. So my mate, who I'm the best man, had somebody else tie the tie, and it wasn't even a. It was okay tie knot, but I had to look at my mate's tie knot that he had for his whole wedding, thinking I could have done better. So there's a long version and a short version. If you ever had to do a double or a single Windsor knot, I'll show you how to do it. Now, because I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, I used to put a tie on at least 5 times a week, so I was quite good. And double Windsor knots will give you a perfectly well-formed knot at the top of your tie, and if somebody comes along and wants to yank on your tie for a joke, normally the tie will hold its shape better than a single Windsor, and that's the trick behind it. So, but we made these videos because we saw that there was other videos out there that had 1 million hits, and they were poor quality. So we were hoping that these might get picked up one day, but no one wants to learn how to tie a tie with the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger.
It is amazing, and of course I encouraged you, and I said, "Oh, don't worry about the initial uptake, because my most popular video, I think, took 100 days to get 100 views, and I thought yours would take off, but here they haven't been picked up by the algorithm yet, and mine went for 10,000, but that's about the only one. The next one here, drop shipping. You've just recently started to push the drop shipping, but this was I think the first video that you put up about your drop shipping.
Yeah, and even though it's only 188 views, to my surprise, I sold a website 2 days ago, and the couple said they watched all my videos, and they felt, and when they talk to you, you can feel like they already know you. They feel quite comfortable speaking to you. They know my lingo. So never underestimate the power of a video that only has 188 views, because I've now done, every time I sell a website, put together a website, I put together a 10 to 15 minute wee video about the website that we're selling, and it adds to my portfolio, and I put them all into a playlist, and people can go there and watch the whole lot of them. And then we do custom built sites for people, so they often say, oh, I really like this one, can you do something similar? And that's how we so they've actually worked out really well for me, even though they're not getting the numbers I hoped. I'd like to see 10,000 people looking at this. Yeah.
Quite interesting, that a lot of people are using YouTube and social media to market, and here you kind of have used YouTube for something completely different, but threw that on, and it is gaining a little bit of traction. We go to the next one, and it's got Hong Kong Hypertech board meeting. So that was an old video that you showed, and the next one is Sam Lee.
Oh, hold it. This Hong Kong video,
yes,
is quite an important one, because that's actually showing a board meeting with Hypertech Group, which I believe is the people behind everything that Sam Lee's been doing. I don't believe Sam Lee or Chavis are the real people. That video is only 320 DPI, and obviously I've made it small like that so we can see it, but in there we've got Ryan Jew, Sam Lee, and a couple of other people. Jaden Ware, I think, was in there, and a few other familiar faces. The Martian, I think, well, not Martian, because that's, but that was quite amazing. I spent all day long looking for that video, and then I put it in a way where I can archive it. Oh, look, there's my head. Look, it's just my head.
So Sam Lee's always good for some traffic. You got Cowfish Patel there now, of course. That's
Well, hold it a minute. Sam Lee's good for trafficking, mate. This is that guy, I've forgotten his name, who was going to do a class action lawsuit against Sam, and he's got Sam on video confessing that he's going to sign a petition to get the money back that he's stolen from people, which is a oxymoron in itself. But that was quite exciting, that. Anyway, sorry.
So, anybody who wants to know any more details can go and watch Danny's videos here. Cowpesh Patel. So he along with Keith Williams were the front people for the UK, I was going to say UK Prime, but the UK version of Hyperverse that I used to watch.
Yeah.
What's Cowpesh Patel been up to?
Well, I've heard that he frequents the Wee Global. I still call it Wee Global, but it's renamed itself to the blockchain era and then to X Pro. And he still frequents their offices in Dubai on a daily basis, so I was told. He's living in a $25,000 a month apartment, and allegedly I heard from what I thought was reliable sources, but it's incomprehensible, that he made about 87 million out of Hyperverse. I don't know if that's true. But it's still a lot of money, obviously, there. And he's a key player. So he went from rags to riches, basically, and Keith Williams, his mate, went from rags to death.
Yes, and we get to that. Another blast from the past here. 8 months ago, you did a video on Mick Mulcahy.
Oh, my God. There he is with Rod Stewart. But the voice of Hyperverse was Mick Mulcahy. And every time you heard his voice, they had a presentation 1 and a presentation 2, it would be his drone of a voice. And he reckoned he had some sort of legal background, like a lawyer of some sort. And he reckoned that the whole scam was the perfect storm, because you were converting your fiat currency into HU dollars and you were buying these packages, and they weren't giving money, they were giving rewards. He's actually said in his presentation and other things that this was a scam that was perfect for ripping off people. And also, we haven't heard anything from him, so any money he has made, he's kept his mouth shut, and he works for Cork FM, theoretically filling in for a presenter every now and again. Other than that, he's another one that's seeped away.
Yeah, it's like I can remember when I used to hear a lot of these voices at the start, and I used to think, wow, they're very, very talented at what they do. If we zoom forward, we're going to see hyperverse leadership training with Keith Williams.
That,
Keith Williams, over Red Rover, isn't it?
yeah, well, this
If
one
you,
here was quite good too because that shows the
oh,
beginning of Bitcoin Group, which was I've got the whole historical timeline of Sam Lee, Ryan Jew, and Jaden Wee. And just recently, there's been an article that's come out where one of these guys is meant to have had $14 million, and he's literally had his passports taken off him just recently because he's a flight risk from Australia. And that was an article that came out about 5 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, in the Guardian newspaper. Yeah, Alan Glow,
yeah,
his name was.
yes. So just scroll up, and you'll see Keith Williams. So tell us all about Keith Williams.
Yeah, well, I got told by one of his best friends, alleged best friends, that Keith Williams. I did a video, and I was exposing where he lived. I was exposing the fact that I thought it was an exit strategy. They had stage 4 cancer, stage 5 cancer. Now he doesn't have cancer anymore because he's gone. And to prove that this was the case, his best friend actually sent me a photo of Keith, and you can see that in there. But I did hold a bit of respect. I didn't show that photo for months. I did the respect out of the fact that I didn't want to betray the friendship of the guy. But then the guy got a bit shitty with me because I published his home address, and then after that I said, well, I don't care anymore. Yeah, because I had people knocking on his door and ringing on his bell, didn't I? Yes. And I still don't think his family should live in a £3 million house simply because they managed to take money off people.
Yes, well, and interesting scenarios all around. Interesting questions about on a lot of these projects, where has the money gone? So the next one there is stable opinion, and of course that's Chavez again. But we go up and we find out Stephen Rees Lewis was actually a fake CEO.
Yep, got paid $5,000, did 7 videos for Hyperverse, reassuring the nation and the people that everything was to keep calm in the farm. And he got a cheap suit and a pair of shoes, and he didn't realise, so he claims, that it was the real deal. He thought he was in a movie role. B-grade actor. Finished up being a newsread presenter and in Thailand, and we actually found him out running. There's a guy called Mark Gamble who actually paid for the software to do reverse image lookups on images. Found a photo of what looked like Stephen Rees Lewis, and the guy standing beside him did a reverse image lookup on him, and then found his Facebook page, and then found Steve having lunch with this guy. So it was a pretty awesome way of finding the real Stephen Rees Lewis.
Unbelievable. And I think the thing that I found interesting is that a lot of people at the time thought he was fake, and all of the people that were involved said, no, 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 no. And of course, here he is actually exposed. And of course, people can watch that video. And it's a shorter one there, 29 minutes 20. So Stephen Rees Lewis, fake. Just imagine that. Imagine that. Like, you're wheeling up, you're making this whole persona as if your project is legit, and you're actually paying someone to front as a fake CEO. The next one there is Brenda Chunga, aka Bitcoin Beauty, and Keith Williams. So what happened to Brenda Chunga? We probably got her, was that 8 months ago when she got arrested?
No, it was probably, she got brought in for question in December the 3rd, 2023, and then she was let loose, and her job was to work as an informant and try to trap Sam Lee to go into US soil so he would be arrested after going to some crypto event. Don't ask me how I know this shit.
I'm quite impressed by your recall there, Danny. The next one, I recall the next one there, exposed Lucky Kua's secret We Are All Satoshi meeting recording. Now, that was the one with all of the leaders in it?
That just exposed, and this is the problem we have, and we don't get people listening to these videos. You would only need to listen to that one video and then realise that they're running a scam. And that one video was like, this is the one. You know, we got 1.4, 1,400 people listen to that video, but it changed nothing.
Yeah,
And that's what blows me away.
Thing is that video, like your video there, is 57 minutes 28 seconds long. That was kind of a defining moment, along with the one about the code in the website. And of course, this is all referring to Boomerang, the arbitrage trading. The next one up there is Gobi, aka Gobi, notorious MLM marketer. Can you remember what that was about?
Oh, I certainly. I'm starting to. It's actually quite good to go through them, Rob. But this was Sam drunk on a boat, telling Gobi that he's effed up, and he was basically saying, you know, you've crossed me, and I know what you're doing it for, and it's all about money, about the community. Now, Gobi at that time was literally trying to get Sam Lee to release the money that was in the Vault Horizon so that he could pay back his community that he enticed to get into We Are All Satoshi. And that, because he talked to me on the phone for an hour and a half, telling me not to give him a hard time until we had got that money back. So he had a shot at working. But then when Sam realised that Gobi was trying to, you know, shit all over him, he certainly told, this was only like a 3-minute clip, but worth its weight in gold listening to it.
Yeah, the memories are flooding back for me as well. You've got another one there about Keith Williams. The next one there with Vlad Putin in it. That's in Russian. What was that about? That had something to do with Boomerang, didn't it?
Yeah, we realised there was a big following. Like, there was a whole Boomerang website. There was the Russians, and there was meetings in Russia promoting this Boomerang thing, which is really, really weird. I don't know if it had anything to do with Pavel, which we'll probably get a couple of videos coming up. But Pavel was meant to be the creator of Boomerang, and that morphed into months later saying that they didn't know who this guy was. And I think Pavel had some sort of, I reckon he was just another paid, faked person that turned up somewhere, but I had always had a hunch that he was associated to something to do with the Russians. And that video there was sort of like just documenting the fact that Russians were trying to promote Boomerang. They had their own website. Even like now, we just had a link a couple of 3 days ago, and this is why it's still quite hot, this sort of stuff, pointing to the sign-up form for Boomerang 2, or, for 9pay. And there's a link for the old Russian website. When you go there now, and I think it was boomerang.trade, you will get forwarded to the sign-up for the new fake credit card was called 9pay, now rebranded to Liquid Pay. It's just incredible. It is unbelievable. Oh my God, now we get some funny shit, don't we?
Website code fakes results. So tell us about that, Danny.
Right. Yeah, and I think this was one of the exciting ones when we found the code in the website. And I think you discovered that first. And then what I did is I reiterated what you discovered and stole your concept and your ideas and republished them professionally. But in here, Rob basically right-clicked on the website and spent what seemed like a couple of months going through the code in the website, and then suddenly I'd get a phone call from Rob saying, "Hey, guess what I found today?" And I found all the code that generates all the market results. And you go, "Oh, okay, Rob." And he go, the pictures are, they just don't, nothing makes sense. And he said, "I believe that the code in the website is doing all the work. And there's no such thing as any arbitrage trading, or even it's all just derived from the website," which was amazing at the time. But we took a wee while to absorb that because we're all in disbelief that it was a scam that's obviously been busted, which is hence the busted word on the screen.
Yeah, it was interesting as well that there was a tip-off for that, wasn't there, of course, and that was on one of your videos. But we won't dwell on that because people can have a look at these, and that's only a 15-minute video there, so you can give Dan an extra view. The next one is about outerwear drop shipping website. Anything specific about that one?
No, we did. It took a long time to sell that website, but we finished up selling it. Unfortunately, the guy that's bought it had a crash on his motorbike, and he's been recovering on his motorbike crash ever since. But lovely guy, so we're still waiting to get that one going. But I presume it's still going. So look at that. It's got 278 views, that one. So it's twice as many as the last one. So we were picking up a bit of momentum there.
And the next one was a stunner, and it's quite funny. This is months ago, but I can remember this clear as day. The server room was filled with water. This is the when what was it? The Boomerang launch got delayed, and the floods hit Dubai, and that was one of the reasons for it.
I felt sorry for Chavez because he waded into the server room up to here, and he pulled out the server, which didn't get any water on it. And then we found out afterwards that the servers were actually in India, and he had swum into the wrong server room. That's what it was. But it was the bullshit stories they come up with to give reasons for delay in launching. And it was just like another excuse, anything they could grasp onto to delay the launch. And that was the dumbest one I've ever heard. Now, if you even watched, Chavez actually saying that, you can actually hear him lying in his voice. It's just so obvious. And we've even got Sheila Morris demanding questions from him in the end. I've got her popping up every now and again. But if you want to, there's no credibility with anything he says, in my opinion, because I watched so many videos of him. But this one here takes it home. This is like watching cricket, and he's just hit 6 home runs in a row.
Yeah. Well, that would be unusual in cricket. But the next one, outrage, Boomerang commissions thwarted by Chavez. I can't remember what that was about.
I think it was when they decided that they would make it that people could sign up for Boomerang licenses directly off Boomerang's website rather than having to be filtered through the affiliate system where they got the commissions.
I'm very impressed by that. And that got changed at some stage after that. And the next one, wow, that was one of the... what would you call it, a highlight or a low light when that...
Three young fellas actually decided that they'd come into the shop and torment us. One was 14, one was 16, and they punched me. But while I was being punched, I was recording it. So I put that on Instagram and I put it on TikTok. 8 million people viewed that video. And also, obviously, I stuck it on YouTube and it got 5,000 views. But that video was basically after that happened, the young fella rang me up begging me to take the video off because he was getting death threats from his peers. But we tried to help the young fella out. He was just a bit disgruntled, and his punch was that bad that when he punched me, I said, "Is that your punch?" It was kind of like funny, but very seriously, they were definitely assaulting us. But nothing happened about that. The police did nothing. It was just crap.
Yes, unbelievable. Like a lot's happened. No, the next one here, Boomerang Arbitrage trading bot. Oh my goodness, I can remember. Yeah, there was going to be a trading bot. Never really happened, did it?
Well, that's actually a momentum video, because that's where we figured out that if we topped up their empty wallets, the trading resumed.
Yeah, so, and that was all credit to Crypto G, who was doing a lot of videos, many of which only got watched for 4 effing minutes, according to Crypto G.
Yeah. But that was incredible at the time, because we had in real time 1 hour and 47 minutes decided that we would top up the wallets that were paying out people who thought they were doing arbitrage trading. They had 3 days worth of ceasing trading, and then as soon as we figured out and put $10 into it, the trading resumed, and we could show that we controlled the narrative. And it was shortly after that time the website got removed because we exposed them. And we're getting watched with all the stuff we're doing. They're watching our videos. The people in the communities are talking about what we're exposing, because we've got other videos coming up that you'll see in a few minutes where people were trying things that we were saying, and it was obviously far too much of a... And we're talking about 250,000 people who've signed up for this Boomerang thing, so they say.
Yes, quite amazing. So we got Boomerang exposed with just $1 USDT. I can remember that.
Yeah.
And the intense discussion with the Avengers and Flak Panzer. That got a little... That actually got me out of bed, that one.
Well, you did, and you said stop right there, and you told him, I heard you, and he came back the other day because he was. We did a video, and we I think he was endorsing something. We thought he was endorsing something. He was quite upset by the fact that we had alleged that he was endorsing something that was a scam, and he made it very clear because he wrote a comment in the chat room. But that guy, it didn't seem to matter how much of a hard time we gave him. He always stood up for what he believed.
I have to say, one of the things that I saw is that a lot of people have an incredible ability to control their emotions. I'm not one of them.
We've had some passionate discussions, though. Like these when we've had 5-6 of us on here having a chat about this, it's actually quite amazing conversation because we all realise that everyone follows this in their own which way, and it's not like my theory or your theory. Everyone's like Susie, Crypto G, Richard, Bob. Really intense conversations about we are on the pulse of this one. Like if we were in a theatre and we're doing an operation on Chavis, we would know his blood type, we would know what oxygen he's breathing, we would know his height, we'd know his weight, we'd know everything about this guy before we cut him open because we study this guy. I mean, look at him exposed with $1 and with his trench coat there. I mean, that video got 2,000 views, which is pretty good. I mean, some of these videos have actually gone up quite nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one here is multi-level marketers, the bottom feeders of the planet, and I find it quite interesting that came after, because I know that multi-level marketing was coming out quite a lot there, not just in Boomerang.
It's quite a short one.
The next Jarvis's statement on the aborted Boomerang launch. Of course, that Boomerang launch got aborted quite a few times.
Yes, and they announce it's going to happen, and then it just stops, and he goes, "Oh, we had to wait another week," and it would say next Wednesday, and then the following Wednesday, and it would just go on and on and on. It was like the launch had never, So we're starting to use a bit of AI now. We're starting to create some really cool pictures, and. It's a stick. I just realised that one. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, no.
6 ways to get a refund from a Boomerang, and the Boomerang scam is up. Around about this time is where it cured me.
Yeah.
Because I realised that there wasn't that much traction happening, because I would have thought anybody who was reasonably objective would have given up, but people pressed on. And of course, there's a lot of talk here about the 7 proven tactics to recover funds from Boomerang. I'm fascinated about what those were, because there was talk around refunds at that time, weren't there, if there was going to be 10,000 trades, but I'm not too sure if it's that time or if it was later.
Yeah, because I think it was a little bit later, but you're definitely right. He did actually say if the system couldn't do 10,000 trades in a day, he would refund everybody. And he has claimed to do a refund recently.
Yeah, even at 10,000 trades, with the number of people who had licenses and the rate that they were getting the money, it would have been 35 years to have got their money back, or something like that, or to get their 3x or. Yeah,
you were great. You were great at working on the mathematics. Oh yeah, some of these prices, aren't they? Oh, that's right. Now we heard a rumor. Yep. So another excuse. Chavis was. We heard in the grapevine that he was hospitalised, and the next minute he's coming out telling everyone he was not hospitalised. So we didn't know what to believe, but we don't let a good story, the truth, get in the way of a good story. So we went with what we heard, and he did actually talk about my statement in the next video, and he was trying to say everyone had everything else wrong, and he was perfect.
Yeah. So there's the Boomerang shocking revelations, Xavier's false claims, and the next one is Boomerang's dubious AI trading platform revealed. And around about this time, I can't even remember what was happening around about this time, because I think this is kind of where I started exiting because I just thought, oh, this is like a little bit crazy.
Well, it just kept getting strung along, and it didn't matter what he said, people weren't complaining, which is quite a massive. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was starting to do these news clips where we were doing news flash newses, and they were basically claiming that I'd done something they hadn't done. So I thought I'd do a newsreel announcement about my own false claim. But I look more like Beaker and the Muppets there, I think.
I remember that, and I'm surprised that is only 7 months ago because it seems ages ago. The next one there is Garrett Blakesley. Good grief. Garrett Blakesley reveals shocking details. What was that about?
Well, you got Sam's old business partner is incarcerated, and allegedly he's getting raped. And also they're saying that his wife was also getting raped. Now, the guy that Sam used to do Sam's, how do I say this? Sam's Khan is a guy that used to do all Sam's IT work. He had a fallout with Sam's old business partner. And because of that, this guy's been arrested in Dubai and he's in prison. But the unusual part of that is that the guy that Sam's got his arm around also reported Sam for not he sent him 2 checks and they both bounced. So that guy had done the dirty on Sam, and then Sam's his mate who does all his IT stuff had somehow connected with that guy and got him in prison. So it was kind of some mafia shit going on there. But at the end of the day, that was why Sam has been not detained, but he's got 2 court cases pending because it's in connection with these 2 bounced checks that he wrote out to that guy that's now in prison. If that's correct.
Much has been happening. So, look, if we're approaching the half year, so we better kind of speed up through the second half of this. But have up to that point, had you actually seen anybody that had profited apart from the recruiting rewards in any of those schemes?
No, nothing. You do wonder if there's secret backhand handshakes or they're paid to promote these platforms in a different way. I know that the Financial Freedom Team has just received $1 million worth of something, but whether it's be able to get off the platform or, it's just ridiculous. I just don't get it. I mean...
Yes. So you've got a couple more videos you stuck up there for your drop shipping, which was the Lux Nails, which I believe you've just sold, and another one, New Zealand.
Where did you see that? Oh, there. Oh. Yeah. Actually, this How to Dream, this one was a very important video because this is actually a lot of the leaders in here having a meeting that you wouldn't see every day, and it was all ran by Tammy Jackson, and she was basically doing the blueprint for how they're going to go forward with We Are All Satoshi. So if anyone, even though this didn't get the views, this was an amazing video for how they run these scams.
Was that one of the flashback videos?
Yeah, so I found them and then republished them, but you have got Carl and you've got Grace, and you've got a lot of, like, that video that we just played before we started playing of whatever her name is, Rwanda. She's in there as well. You can see her. So these are, these are all, you've got whatever, C Best in there, Crypto Tech in there, and all of these people have miraculously dropped off now. But if you wanted to see some of the old original faces of Hyperverse, the beginning of We Are All Satoshi, then this is the video to watch. You'd be amazed how many people have fallen away or are still involved who come back.
If you scroll one more, you'll see some old original faces, or at least one old original face. That's Grace.
This is a video I just republished the other day.
Oh, right. That one.
That's Danny. That's Danny.
Danny. One just below there, the inside story. What's that all about?
Inside story. The inside story. Yeah.
Oh, me.
Oh yes. So that was when they got flagged by MetaMask. And ironically, I was busting another scam just the other day, and they had a MetaMask warning as well. And I don't really know, to be honest, what that one was all about.
Unbelievable. So we got the reprimand of the dishonourable, allegedly, Judge Grace.
Yep.
A couple there, and there's also Chantel.
Yeah. Chantel's an interesting one. She's like really brainwashed and really believes that Boomerang and We Are All Satoshi and Capital 3 and Dodo, whatever it's called, and 9Pay and now Liquid Pay is just the future of the world. And I do actually wonder what drives her and also what makes her intelligent, because that's really, she must be in love with David or something, I don't know. But she's just like all in, and we've tried to destroy her. I think we got to the point where we just about got her offline because we had exposed her. We'd contacted the people she works with. We had wrote emails to people that she knows. But then she had a pep talk with probably Rwanda or whatever her name is, that stupid business coach lady, and they managed to restore the fight to what they believe is the future of the world. Oh my God. Did you? Yeah. Do you know?
Quite a lot here. There's one about Sian. Oh, yes, I have heard of her. And there's also Joe Trazer, or however you pronounce his name there. A lot of these people, like, they're just still going, aren't they?
Well, I haven't seen much of this other Sian lady, because she was like, she was on the islands. I haven't seen much of her, but they were true believers, and we used to go into their meetings all the time, and they used to get really upset with us. But yeah.
Now, if you zoom up, you'll come to how to descale your Breville Barista Express, and the one next to it, which is a
Where did you get that from? Oh, you jumped
right. How to descale? Right
oh.
in front of you there. That's
well,
one.
You
So we've got 533 views, so that wasn't too bad.
Well, funny enough, I did a 30-minute version, and when I descale my machine, I literally put this on because I forget how to do it myself. So I've got a 5-minute version of it, all sped up with all my words and ahs and nuts and buts cut out of it, and that's had 533, and this one's had 127. But I put the 127 view one on when I need to descale the machine. Because
that is,
yeah.
I tell you, I have found there's quite a few things that I have done videos for, or wish I had done videos. I know going through the early stages of setting up a website for me, I keep on forgetting what it is. Now we're coming into a couple of people here. Simon Lee, is he still around?
Well, I think he was running Trades Networks. But the Simon Lee I thought he had 2 E's and not 1 E. So I'm not 100% convinced that this is the same Simon Lee that was running Boomerang meetings in Vietnam and interviewing Lucky at the same time, and he was translating everything she was saying into Vietnamese. Or if this guy dropped this and started promoting Trades Networks. And ironically, I think Trades Network only blew $9 million worth of people's money, not the 91 million I heard. However, in saying that, I'm not sure if this is the same Simon Lee as the other Simon Lee, but I have a sneaky feeling I've either spelt the name wrong or got it wrong on the day. So it could be the same guy, but not guaranteeing it.
If you scroll over to the next one, you'll see your girlfriend.
Oh, which one? Oh, that's, oh, yes. Woof. Yeah. Now, ironically, I just sent her a text today before we went live, because there was that lady who was giving her a hard time, basically saying that she ditched the community and rubbished all over the community. So I thought I'd send her that video clip for her to have for her New Year's gift. But yeah, so
yeah.
So she hates me.
Yes, it doesn't. And then you've got, it seems to be that you've done like a series here of alleged MLM promoters, where you've got Nicholas Shizano, who I've never heard of,
Which
Carl,
one?
and May.
What,
If you
yeah.
scroll over, yeah, that one there, like
Yeah.
across the top.
Now, I got contacted by his ex-wife, and she even gave me some coffees for the good work she said I was doing. But allegedly, they had $50,000 to $60,000 of their kids' inheritance, and they put it all into We Are All Satoshi. And that was the
Oh,
same couple that were encouraging Richard to get involved at the time. Yeah. So this was amazing. And these guys are still in the meetings we see. They still tune in hoping that there's going to be a glimmer of hope that they can get their money out. And there are a couple of peace-loving hippies that seem like they're on the bones of their ass now because I've given out 50 to 60 grand to Shavas.
Now you've got in here exposing Munir Janidi and the Bulls Army.
Yeah, so that's Mr. Genevieve, I call him. I can't pronounce his first name, but he's still promoting Export Run. He's also promoting other scams right now. But we never see this guy live, and I've only found one photo of him live, but since this video was done, we have actually found Crypto Man, and that's just another pump and dump opportunity, which is quite cool, that he's promoting. And Mars Honda Henderson was in there promoting him as well. You can actually see her in the picture in the centre. Yeah.
Oh, good grief. And you've got more about Gobi and Tammy in there, and Building Fortunes Radio.
Well, just before we bypass this one here, this meeting was fantastic because Gobi and Tammy were having their private meeting, and then I was in that meeting, and I started speaking to him. So it was kind of like he couldn't believe that I was actually in his meeting, and they were so pissed off. It was hilarious. Building Fortunes Radio Scott. Yeah, so I was asked to be on a podcast in America. And so I just took the recording and chucked it on as a podcast. But because you can now, under your playlist, you can actually upload your podcasts to your YouTube channel. So if I get so for example, if this was a good recording, I would take out the sound of this recording and then upload it as a podcast, and then it would go into my YouTube channel as a podcast as well. And that's
boom.
Yeah, so it's quite handy. Oh my God.
I see you put that up twice, but you got our old friend Carl Halverson. How do you pronounce that name?
Yeah, I don't know either. That was friggin' hilarious. That was so funny because we got him pouring out his heart, telling the world that I've got 7.2 million subscribers because he didn't know the difference between 7,200 and 7 million. And he was having a private meeting by himself, and I was in there 3 times in his chat room going, "Oh, you're okay. Don't you worry. You'll be fine. Good on you for standing up for yourself." And he would go, "Yeah, I know." And then I'd say something else, and the other person saying, "Oh, well, why don't you find something else to do for a living?" And you go, "Oh, you're probably one of them. You're probably..." And he was having an argument with me, not realizing that I was broadcasting the whole meeting live.
I can remember that. We got more about Mace there. Just one name that popped up that I noticed hasn't been on here. Trashit. Is he still involved? Is he still on the Zoom meetings?
I think he's still Sundays, master beta training.
Yeah.
So, look, there's one of you, Rob. Look at us trying out new backgrounds.
And Robert, insights on Boomerang. Good grief. Let's press on past that one. AMC.
Oh my God, this is one of the funniest. I think this is the funniest thing. AMC Global, it was Aquamarine Club, and that was Dumb and Dumber promoting an opportunity of a lifetime. And we were in their Zoom meeting, and then finished up. That one was they had the fake CEO who was a German-born person living in Nigeria, and that was just a big crack up, mate. So that fell over once he was exposed as a fake CEO. But the funny thing about this particular scam is you had Tammy Jackson promoting it. So that would have been embarrassing for anyone. Yeah.
So we scroll up. More Boomerang, exposing Ponzi schemes, fake crypto, etc., etc. Yeah, they don't look like your normal titles there. Did you experiment with some change of titles or something?
Well, I did actually. I used AI to generate some images and thought I'd chuck them up to see if they worked. And obviously 49 views would be a failure. And also
Ah,
this one here, if you hold your mouse over here, you can see I'm still talking about the same things. Exposing Ponzi schemes, fake crypto arbitrage scams. I don't even know what I'm talking about in there. So even these, see, my thumbnails I'm quite proud of because a lot of the times the thumbnails tell the story.
yep.
So here we've got the snake oil salesman, and we must have been talking about the aftermath of what happened after we caught Carl in that meeting, and also I was
Yeah.
intimidating him by putting another video online, and then I put these out saying that coming soon, and I hopefully, because they put out all these meeting links, and then we
Robe-
find them. Yep.
Tell me about that.
Well, Robex was quite good, and I think there was an Indian guy that ran the worst Zoom meeting ever. He would have 800 to 900 people in a Zoom meeting, and then he would just finish the Zoom meeting, and it'd be like you'd been on a train, and then the train would stop in the middle of the tracks, and everyone out. He would leave the building like that. So it was really amazing that Robex we called it Robex. But here's Tammy Jackson once again promoting Robex and promoting the one I just said before. So she was trying to build up a portfolio of scams to promote to her community. Well, she's trying to build up a community so she could have a portfolio of scams, and she was going to be their advisor. And that's still happening today.
We got more there about Boomerang, and if we go over to the next one, we've got Dr. Farzam Kamalabadi.
Oh, this is 500 days old. So that was how far they were over their release date. Because you were going on about that at the time. That's what
yeah.
5
days of the release, which was alleged release, which was going to be March 1, I think, was the original one. So yes, they just
So the doctor one
didn't.
The doctor one's been really interesting because this is the guy that claims to be the man about town, or the man about the world. He knows he's got photos of presidents and all sorts of people. He's quite prominent. But in this video, we've got Sam Lee, Shavis Anwar, and another guy who has been reported doing money laundering, and I've got evidence of people that were working with him. And then I've exposed this guy who's meant to look pretty as a human trafficking guy and part of a cartel network. And I've had people reach out to me telling me that I've got it wrong, and I said, no, I haven't. But going by what my sources, there was a girl that was going to move in with Sam, and she said I saved her life, and she was going to go work in Dubai. But I believe she would have got picked up at the airport, taken off in a van, and she'd be working at one of those human trafficking compounds that I rave on about every now and again. Yeah.
Now I'm seeing so many names that are coming up here. So obviously we've got the old tried and tested of Sam Lee and Chavez, but now we've got Jesus Silva Junior and Narciso Wales, or however you pronounce it.
Yep.
Now that name came.
Well, that was quite nice actually, because there's a girl, beautiful little girl. Her name is what do we call her? Oh goodness me, her name slips my mind. But she chats to me quite a lot, and she's fighting crimes in Brazil. And she's I've forgotten her name, but it's one of those. I'll see if I can find it now. What was the name? Scully.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's lovely. I chat to her all the time. And, she's a young lady who's fighting crime. They really have a hard time over there. They really get people who are trying to chase them down and cause them grievous bodily harm, let's just say that. So they have to be real stealthy. But I chat to her on Signal, and she's introduced me to a few people who are on the other side of the world running these scams, and they're just getting away with it. So she's got some hellish stories. So I was sort of backing her up by doing videos on these guys, and you'll see them coming out in a few more stories. Oh my goodness!
See that it's like just having a look at the wealth of videos that came up mid-year here.
Yeah.
There's many. So there's more about Moneo Janidi and XBR Foundation.
Yep. So you got XBall and XBR. They're just, it just goes on. I mean, even this one here this is Dumb and Dumber, who've just failed with Aquamarine Club. Now I've got Sharvis in here, and we're in the chat room going like a couple of mentors, and here they are saying we're not really sure if we want to promote Boomerang to our community, but we'll do it anyway. I couldn't believe that how these scams get around all the different communities, and like we would literally find them popping up in, like, here's Boomerang in Brazil, Boomerang's in Russia, and now you've got Boomerang in America. Which is just, they just get in these communities, and that's who we can market to, anyone.
And imagine if you had a product and you could actually spread it around the world like that, if it was like a physical, like normal product. On the next one here, you got Boomerang AI crypto arbitrage, and of course, like anybody who doesn't understand anything about Boomerang now, I don't know where you've been, but Boomerang 2 is coming up soon. What's this? The official Avenger name and shame list of notorious Ponzi schemes.
Where did you read that?
That's on that one right there above your head right now. The official Avenger name and shame list of notorious Ponzi schemes.
Oh, that's a cornerstone video, that one, and that's worked out really well. It hasn't got the traffic, but it's embedded in my website. And what I decided to do was put everybody's name and every Ponzi scheme and scam that we know, and make them tags. So literally by having probably, I'm guessing 400 or 500 tags in a blog, when you search for people's names, often that page will pop up in the search results of Google. And that was the video explaining my mentality behind it all. And it's actually worked out really amazing. It's one of my biggest looked at blogs, and it's pinned to the homepage of my website. So it's been a goodie.
I'm just having a look at...
Oh, the piss drinker.
Ian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's it. That guy there drinks his own urine, and it hasn't affected him in any which way or form. He's still, and he gaslights his own conversation. Now, every time you listen to his recordings, I think you gave me those, you can hear in the background he's at a kindergarten, and you can hear the kids playing. It's like, let's go to the local kindergarten and record all my bullshit on my phone and tell everyone that I know better about scams and opportunity. I'd love to know what he's doing now, but that's why you don't drink your own piss, Rob.
I think they're still pressing on, actually. Rob Boozer, or however you pronounce that name. Yeah. So he was a promoter of Boomerang, among other things.
He's incredible. He posts about 4 or 5 videos a day, and you go look at his YouTube channel, and he gets 1 or 2 visits. He's worse than your channel, mate. Yeah, but I don't understand why he continues doing it. It's like he's on a trance, and I don't understand why I keep doing it. But it's amazing. He's a notorious scammer, and it took ages to find even a photo of him. But he was in all the Russian meetings and all the Brazilian meetings, translating it all. It's just crazy.
Oh, that's classic. How to earn money on YouTube?
And 66 people viewed that one, mate.
Elite 6 business networking, so that must be a kind of a rehash from quite a while ago. Mastering business network. Was that the one we did together? Oh, that's one you did on your own, was it?
Well, it was basically a talk about, it was a PowerPoint presentation that I did at a competition, and I actually won the competition, but it was 47 slides from memory, and I delivered it in 2 minutes. And the guy that ran the speech competition said, there's no way in hell you can do that. 47 slides in 2 minutes on a PowerPoint presentation. I said, you watch me. I've got 10 seconds spare. And I did. And I knocked it out of the ballpark, and I won the competition. Out of 30 people. It was a laugh.
I do enjoy it. And now we're getting into some faces I haven't heard from for a while. Pascal.
Oh, mate, even this one makes me laugh. Spoke to the guy. Sorry, we'll go back to Pascal. Pascal is just a slime bucket. He's a bucket of poos and wheeze. He promotes everything that you can think of in the way of scams. And at the start, he gives you a serious talk about how not to listen to him and don't act on anything he says. However, this is a fantastic opportunity, and it's just like, oh, you just, and he's got like, he might be fake users now, but he's got like 15,000 people, subscribers on his YouTube channel. But yeah, it amazes me. This guy made me laugh. He was basically humming and hurrying whether it was Boomerang was a scam or not, and then suggested that we confront Sharvis. He was going to go back to his community, and now we'd convinced him that it was a scam. And then at the end of the conversation, he didn't realise that we were broadcasting live on the internet. And now we've never heard from him again. He's like disappeared. Doop, gone. Bye.
Plastic.
So we think we did save the starfish. If you're familiar with the starfish story, when the tide goes out, there's all these starfish are stranded, and you pick up one of those starfish and throw it back into the ocean, and then somebody goes, "Oh, you're only saving one," and you go, "Yeah, well, that's one less starfish. That's one. We can save one starfish, but we can't save them all." But I think we might have saved that guy, but didn't want to be public. I mean, don't ever ring up the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger and have a conversation when I'm broadcasting live, because it stays live.
Yeah, so what happened with Overdome? And there was another one, weren't there? Because they were the competitors to Boomerang.
Well, Sharvis was threatening everybody, telling them that if they jump the ship and go to Trade 11, Overdome, any other scam, even this Tabor one was similar, and claimed to be out. All the arbitrage trading platforms started coming out of the woodwork, because it was like they were sabotaging their own mission. And we were told by Sharvis, there's people out there that are copying him, and his IP is so amazing that everyone's copying what he's doing. But it seemed to take a long time to seep out. So when we found Trade 11, Overdome, and other people claiming to have arbitrage trading platforms, even like the one that just fell over, Trades Network, all this sort of stuff, it was quite neat when they started surfacing, but they never really eventuated to anything. I think Boomerang was his joy. Promise United.
Wondering what happened to them, because they were all supposedly crypto arbitrage trading platforms, weren't they? And when Boomerang kind of ended, not that I was paying too much attention, but the others didn't seem to be around anymore.
One interesting thing though there, Rob, I think it was this Tabor one, was actually the lines of code were like using outdated. It was like they rinsed and repeat or resold the first version of Boomerang, and we could look at it on the Polygon network and say they're doing exactly the same thing. So I don't know if it was that one or another one later on, but yeah, it was really interesting.
Okay, so Hisham El House. I can't remember what he was in.
Were you reading that?
The forced closure in the green there, right in the middle, right there.
Oh, yes. So that guy was a laugh, because we talked to him for 2 hours, and he claimed that he was going to go back to Sharvis and bring Sharvis onto a Zoom meeting with me, and if he couldn't do so, then he was going to walk away. But he said he first of all wanted to make sure he got his friend's money and his money back out of it before he walked away. But I waited a week before I pressed publish on that video, which isn't showing up. But now he's off promoting another thing called, I think, Bit. There's another thing called Bit, not Bitfoot, but there's another thing called Bitcode or something. And he just went from one scam to the other. And he poured his heart out to me, telling me he's not a scammer. And he also said that he wouldn't promote things that weren't genuine. And he's shocked and horrified that Boomerang might be a scam. But once I proved it to him, he went, oh, yeah. But he was just after the commission money like all of them. So it was breathtaking to listen to this guy's stories.
Is the big driver, isn't it? Not necessarily how the project is supposed to function in return. It's the rewards, isn't it? Yeah. The rewards more people in. So the next bit there, you've got, what have you got? You've got a follow-up to the assault.
Yeah, that was a school teacher who rang up for a TV remote, and he was 80-something years of age. And then I got talking to him on the phone and told him about this kid that punched me, and he told me that he used to work with problem children. And I said, well, have a listen to the recording I've got, and if you'd like to be on a podcast with me, I'd love to interview you. So he took me up on the, and it was very insightful. I think that's the podcast version of it. I think up above it we'll see the actual recording. The other one not to miss here is Shelley Lambert, because she was prancing around with Bitcoin Rodney at one stage. Labor?
Yep.
Yeah, and just recently I published another Super One video. Now this Super One video, this thing that she's promoting, he's been trying to launch that since 2013, claiming that every year it's going to be launched, every week it's going to be launched, and it never gets launched. And it's an illegal gambling app. But in these videos, I was amazed to see her, and I got to speak to her, and listening to the way these people gaslight people into believing that this is true and genuine, and the way she even handled me on the Zoom meeting was actually quite breathtaking. So, this is what people don't realise, that we jump into these Zoom meetings and we go head-to-head with these scammers and confront them. And it is quite intimidating for all parties, including myself. But sometimes I'm really proud how it went. But when I listen back to these videos, I think, I did quite well. But they don't care. They just carry on.
No. Very hard to get any traction, really. On the next, we got more about Hyperfun and Hyperverse and Aqua Marine Club and drop shipping. But if we go up to the next one,
well, that one there was just, that's quite important, because that one there is actually Sam Lee being reintroduced to the Hyperverse community, claiming he's going to help people get their money back, and that's an historical video. Took a long time to find that one, but that's why it's there.
Yeah. On here we've got Fido Capital. What's that? That's
the one that Hitchcomb guy was promoting. I was just talking about. So so they, oh shit! You know what they've just done? All right, we'll get back to that. Wait 1 minute, please, caller. This is why we didn't go right at the start. Keep talking, Rob. No one will notice.
So we were at 5 months, and something on here with Chavez on there, the untraceable credit card plot. 70 people conspire to launder crypto or something like that.
There we go.
And it's the stuff 9pay.
Is that right? 5 months ago. God. And if you're not familiar with 9pay, we've got some good stories on that.
That's unbelievable. And ranked leaders catch up. So we are all Satoshi Boomerang. Not too sure what that is, but I didn't realise 9pay's been going for that. Well, it hasn't even started yet, has it?
Well, this was a brilliant meeting, actually, because this was a secret meeting where only leaders were allowed to be in here, and I managed to get in there and broadcast it.
Oh, the one where you're smoking.
Yeah, and then when I found him smoking, because he thought he was off, everyone had gone, that was important. But you've got that guy, Tracy, I always go on about. Everyone that's anybody who's involved heavily with us, even the Hitchcomb guy we just talked about who started promoting this flip cap thing, he's in there as well. So this is like all the country leaders. I hate the word leaders. And then obviously we've got, so we've got some good traffic out of that, but nothing really, not when you're exposing all these guys and their lies. And Chavez sitting there having a good old puff. And we took the piss out of that as much as we could. And some secrets given, but no one was really interested.
Yeah, the next one up, we got, you did a normal video, bug fix for ChatGPT, got 138 views. More about Jim's personal meeting room and Boomerang explosive secret scam strategy for leaders. There were so many strategies and twists and turns, but now the interesting one, I think, is the next one up. If you scroll up, and you'll come to your mate Rory.
Oh my God. Yep, that's really got me going. Look, 1.2k is not too bad, but Rory's claiming to do a class action lawsuit, but everyone has to pay $15 each. He claims he's got 20,000 people that are willing to pay him $15 each, which if you're not good on maths, that's $300,000. We just did a video the other day and we proved that he's collected $37,500 from people, so we can see in his wallet address, even though he claims that not everyone, the majority of people did not know how to pay him in crypto. So now he's set himself up a merchant credit card facility so he can take $15 off people in the hope that he's going to go after Sam Lee and Hypertech Group and get people's money back. At one point, Rory Kanacha claimed that he had 40 people working for him trying to entice people to sign up for Hyperverse, been promoting all these other Ponzi schemes, including We Are All Satoshi, I think VidiLook, everything you can think of, and now he's turned sides, and he's a professional helping people get their money back like a lawyer.
A lot of talk about class action lawsuits and a lot of people wanting their money up front and stuff to pursue it, and very massively varying degrees. Like, I guess in the scheme of things, having $15 up front isn't a hell of a lot, but it's going to add up if there's a lot of people. But then, you got that other one where it's about 9% up front. You think, wow, that would add up. That other one there, M3 Mars verse.
Pinicky Nark! I gate crashed Pinicky Nark's meeting, and they were laughing and giggling because they kicked me out, and they were laughing and giggling because I was in the waiting room, and they said, he's not allowed in here, we're not letting him in here, and then they started discussing how they managed, they'll have to change the link to the meeting because he's got in here. But they're so silly they didn't realise I was recording and broadcasting the meeting. So I just love it sometimes. I'm shaking sometimes when I'm doing this stuff because I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually in here. The adrenaline gets going. But Mars 3, still going.
I'd hate it. Yeah, the next one up, if you scroll up, we've got another. I'm quite surprised at how many of these drop shipping ones that you've done. And I know that 92 views isn't a lot, but if that's 92 people that are genuinely interested in a dropship website, then that's not too bad. The next one there is escape MLM crypto schemes, avoid unrealistic returns. So it's probably a warning video that you're doing. What's this other one?
Podcast.
Christchurch is online international scam buster.
Yeah, I was interviewed by Radio New Zealand. No, not Radio New Zealand, by the Otago Times. After I got beaten up in the shop by the wee kid, the reporter that come and took that story decided he would come and take a story about myself as the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. So it was actually quite good, really. And look, you're even on the screen in there, Rob. Managed to give you some airtime.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
All right.
Great wee video. Oh, my God.
And you'll see optimized Shopify collection pages. So that's a kind of how-to video that you've done. Yeah, small uptake at the moment, but I know that these can take off. There's another how-to one that you've got there. Interesting style that you're using on your thumbnails. And confronting the crypto queen, Ma Shonda.
Yeah. So one-on-one meeting. I went into a Zoom meeting, and then I started speaking to her. Someone reported an insurance broker, Bob's in the chat room. Good on you. So, yeah, we've got a lady, Linda G. Paxton, who's a insurance broker. Bob's just reported her because she just renewed her license a month ago. Don't ask us how we find this shit out, but she's ignoring me at the moment, this lady. It's a freaking crack up. Mars Honda Henderson. We stumbled into her meeting. It was just her and we had a good chat. After this chat, I decided to say she wasn't a bad person, but it's all gone downhill since. She was at this time conniving to promote trade technologies, and that scam lost a lot of money. She's also trying to help people get their money back from trade technologies now. So it's a bit of a crack up.
Yes, the next one, Nitsa Narcos. Heard of that? That's an old one, isn't it?
That video got removed. Allegedly, GS Partners. Someone told me, my ISP told me that they had to block a page on my website because a Norwegian High Court had deemed defamation and decided to block the page in Norway. And this, they reckon they spent $40,000 doing it. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I got told. So that video was removed, blocked, but I put it back. I altered it a wee bit, and then I stuck it back. But the lady in the picture with the thumbs up is meant to be someone famous, and I think she's been trying to clear her name.
And that video next to it is related to the same thing?
Yes. Now, that is really interesting because the guy in the blue suit that you might be able to see, he contacted me saying that he wanted to help me fight scams, and he was the right-hand man for Joseph Haidt, who is the scammer who runs GS Partners. Now
Right.
that's all happened just recently because he's now back with a new gold scam, which is just a reskin version of GS Partners. But he also heavily went after behind MLM, and they were trying to get their website removed. So his saving grace and keeping that scam going as long as possible, anyone that publishes any videos online, they normally go after them. And I've had quite a few of my videos removed because I can't stand up to YouTube's soft hand when it comes to standing up for what they believe. They don't believe it. Yeah.
One there is obviously Trade Tech, and we'll get probably more to that later.
Yeah.
Scroll to the next one here. We've got Warning Sky Marvel.
Sky Marvel. Yeah, now even I'm forgetting some of these. If they never get traction, I think that was a bit of fun because I can see myself 4 times in the Zoom meeting with my camera on 4 times. And Sky Marvel was something to do with the re-rinse and repeat of another Ponzi scheme. But I can't remember the name of it, but it was another big one that had fallen over and they'd re-skinned it and it was just part of it. I can't even remember the name of it. Yeah.
So your next 2 videos there, you got more about Trage and harking back to GS Partners. So scrolling out to the next one.
Well, just that one there, that whack-a-mole one is one of the funniest videos I did last year. I actually had 7 web browsers open and they were trying to kick me out. I would clear the cache, re-enter the room, and it was literally like they were playing whack-a-mole. And the guy that was doing the presentation, 'cause I literally only watched this last week again, I watched my own videos, he had this thing where you could actually request remote access to his PowerPoint presentation, and a box pops up on his screen. So I had 6 browsers open, and I'm going request remote access, and every time he got somewhere, he would keep getting this box pop up. It was doing his head in. But it was so funny that it's one of my favourite videos to watch. Yeah.
Terrible. So going over to the next one. Crypto gifting legals? What's this? $1 billion mine preying on Christians with crypto gifting scam.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Basically, you buy something for $50 and it goes directly to the person in your upline. So because it's a gift, they consider it not a Ponzi scheme or not a multi-level marketing structured thing. But then you've got to go out and find 3 people who want to sign up, and then you'll be gifted. So I don't know what that's called.
Yes. So you've got another one there with Gobi and their X-Empire.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Look at my graphics.
Rings a bell, classic. And the one next to it is AIBN Global Fake.
Yeah, and there's some of these like third world country scams, and this was another one that's claiming to do arbitrage trading. So we did report on them. They didn't get much traction. But yeah, AIBN, now we've got other ones like Ride B&B, which we'll probably see soon.
Yeah. So yeah, it is quite amazing. It's like I'm quite amazing how prolific you were with doing videos right in the middle there. You must have had a huge run, like I'm just looking at the dates. But we're coming out to something quite interesting if you go up to the next one. Well, the first one is the Anzac Crypto Whalers. Now, is this around about the time where they took all their videos down or something?
Yeah, exactly right, Rob. That's what we did. I think we really dug deep into these guys at the time. But these were private videos I didn't want broadcasted, but we were getting into their meetings. And I could tell you some stories now, but I can't tell you some stories now. But there's some stuff going on that's pretty cool at the moment. We're getting better at it, Yeah.
The next here, though, I think is quite interesting because obviously I've moved on from the scams. I just, just was doing my head in because I do get frustrated and I do get passionate, as some people would say. But I was quite fascinated about the videos that you did outside. Well, not actually outside the scams, but just legitimate interviews and stuff. And here's one with Lara Kaput, who next Jehovah's Witness, and this was leading up to the Cult conference.
Yes, and I'm just going to flip to the live section because that video actually got 2,000 visits on the live and only 345 on the there it is there. So 2,300.
Yep.
Yeah, but back here I took the live and republished it, so we've actually got about 2,500 viewed here. And it was a great interview. Yeah.
Fine interviewing went for you.
How did it go?
Yeah, it looked like, as we're going to see, you interviewed Lara, but you interviewed a few others as well. How did you enjoy the interviewing?
Well, I really love ChatGPT. It's helped me a lot, and I can prepare and structure a pretty good, is your genre. I don't know if genre is the right way, but the way that your interviewing style, you can add a bit of humor, you can add a serious tone. So you can say, right, here's the lady. I go to the internet, research Lara, find all the information I can about her, put it into ChatGPT, and then I keep loading ChatGPT up with information about Lara. And then I say, like, I want some serious questions, and I want 60% of the questions to be a bit more softer so I can warm her up into the conversation. So because of all that, then I get 15 questions, and I just, while I'm talking to her, I'm looking for the next question. But it really does help me get a good structure. So I actually quite enjoy the experience, and I think you can relate to this. While you're actually doing the interview, you feel like you're not doing a very good job, but when you go back and listen to yourself, your delivery is better than. I'm often quite pleasantly surprised how I come across. I always think when I talk I slur my words, but I talk very clearly. I sound quite good on the mic these days, and I'm just getting better at it, more comfortable in my skin. So every time I interview somebody, I come away with something extra that I'll use in my next interview.
No, I think you've got an amazing speaking voice, and I think you've got a very good mic there that just works wonderfully with your voice.
Yes.
More Amy Jackson there. Go over to the next one. You got ready to go drop shipping, so that's another Home Edge one. Home Edge was 3 months ago. Good grief.
Yeah.
Seems like like a couple of 3 weeks ago. Fund of Funds, Exposing Capital 3.0, which has got to be.
Where did you read that? Funds of Funds? Is it here? Funds of Funds?
Oh, hold on.
There. Gotcha. Now, this was stupid.
Yeah, that's one of the words that came to mind.
Yeah.
Either I don't get this. Can you explain what Capital 3.0 is briefly?
If you look up the terms funds of funds in ChatGPT and ask, it's actually a term they use for trading. It's like hedge. What do they call their hedge funds?
Yep.
And they use funds of funds to do something. So I think when Chavez was announcing what Capital 3 was all about, I didn't really understand what it was about. I still don't understand what Capital 3 is all about. And I'll be honest about that. However, I think he was trying to follow the path of something grander or bigger. So he added the funds of funds terminology in there just to bamboozle people, but it still hasn't made a clear picture to me what that's all about. So I don't know.
Yeah. It is interesting because a lot of those projects have been quite hard to explain, and I don't think I'm stupid. I know Danny's not stupid. We're struggling to get our heads around, and we are we don't have any money. We're not the audience that he's aiming at, but we do wonder how much the people that do put their money in, assuming that there is anybody who's put their money in, how much they actually understand what they're doing. Now, if you scroll up to the next one,
I just got an announcement from Bob saying, "Oh my God, summer back. Summer is back. Saw her schedule. Laugh out loud." So summer's coming back to torment me some more. Good stuff, Bob. We probably don't need to go on about decode. I don't mind if we do, but did you want? Where were we up to?
Well, just that the part of your channel has been around scams, obviously, or what you believe are scams, but also about your involvement previously in Jehovah's Witness. So the occult conference came up, and that gave you an opportunity to interview some of these people, which you can see were in there, and that came and went pretty quickly. After it was over, did you get any feedback from anybody about how successful it was?
Well, it was quite successful, and ironically, I'm a busy wee man on the internet. Last week there was a video of you had to pay $200 to watch the live recording if you couldn't make it to the event. So there were
Yep.
some videos that were recorded, and one of them was released just on the internet on a guy that made a documentary style thing on his experience as an ex-Jehovah's Witness. I got to go in there and comment and said my 2 cents worth. He came back to me, funny enough, and actually said, I tried to fish and find what actually happened with what happened to you. And it was like I was talked about. It was like I was too controversial to speak at the event, but they wouldn't tell me what the problem was. So long story short really is I really wanted to be part of it. They handled the whole matter appallingly, and then I just went into self-preservation mode and decided to broadcast the secret meetings that we were having, because I felt the way they handled it was so appalling that I needed to defend my own name by showing just the raw meetings of how they handled they first of all promoted me as a speaker. I helped promote the event. First of all, I declined to go. Then I changed my mind after talking to one of them who went out for a beer with me, and he said we wanted to be part of it. I said, okay, well, I'll help promote it. Started interviewing other people that were going to be on these events, and then they've got complaints from people in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, which have nothing to do with the event theoretically, telling me that they would boycott the event if I was a speaker. And they wouldn't give me a reason who or why they felt that I wouldn't be capable of enough speaker. But it was just amazing. So it was quite a kick in the ribs, to be honest. But in the meantime, I did get to meet a few people along the way. But they said that they wanted me to go to the event and be part of it, but basically be silenced. So I did all these videos about, why was I silenced? Because even I didn't know. But, literally, however long ago it was, 3 months ago, now we've got people talking about it, and they still don't know why. So,
I think people that are very passionate, and I don't use that in a condescending one, I know that some people do, but sometimes when people are very passionate about anything, it's quite hard once you've been worked up to settle back down. And yeah, I totally get how you felt about that. So let's have a look at what else is on there. Exposing Ed Terranova, the firefighter turned MLM scam.
Oh, that was brilliant. He put a copyright strike in for that video, and it went offline for 10 days. And then I said I'd go to federal court to defend the right for this public awareness campaign that I was doing using him, and it got put back on. So I had a battle with YouTube to convince them. And this is the thing you don't know about YouTube is we battle with YouTube all the time. And that was a victory, another victory. And I republished the video, and then I went to town. I published a blog, and this guy's name is Mud. If you search for Ed Terranova, fireman, you'll find that he's a scammer everywhere. So don't do that unless you want to be even more scammed. Not scammed, exposed.
So we move into something slightly different, romance scams, and Stuart Crane.
$33,000, $600 he gave to that beautiful girl there. I would have given her the same amount of money. She's gorgeous. But just so happens that lady's on 100 different Facebook pages plus. And they spent, they fatten them, they call it pig butchering. They fatten them up. And then she found a $60,000 investment. And she was selling her car and finding money to save up $30,000, and she was encouraging him to do the same. He sold his car, he borrowed money from his mum, he sold things around the house, got $30,000 together, and then long story short, she said we missed out on the opportunity to make 20% in 3 months, but there's another opportunity for $65,000. So if you can find another $2,500, we will. And then he started realising he was being scammed. He wouldn't listen to any of his mates, and then he was really good because he wanted to tell his story so he could help others, and that's what I did. I helped tell a story.
Yeah. And you've had others that have done the similar thing. Overdome, is that dead and buried now?
Oh, it must be, eh? Never heard anything from it.
Yeah. You got Jan Gregory in the next one, and
that was great, mate. That was when we started to use API to chat. We would use API, would copy their voices, and we're using and we would have a conversation with Jan Gregory. And Jan Gregory was in a meeting saying he watched a video of himself been talking, and he wasn't even like it's just absolutely ridiculous, So like right now, I could literally click a button, and I can say things like, "G'day Jan, how are you going? Are you still scamming people?"
I'd like to clarify that I do not actively participate in any activities that are classified as scamming.
So, you can have a conversation with them. And that's when we introduced the AI stuff. It was so funny. It was a scream.
Hasn't AI come a long way, just even in the last year?
Incredible. And learning how to use AI and how to feed it information so it can, like literally when I'm writing my descriptions for my YouTube videos, if you watch the blog that I've published about this very video, the information it gathers and builds in its brain before it spits out stuff. It even adds, I tell it to write the description for a blog, and it will add bits I haven't instructed it to do that have come from other things I've done in the past.
I was literally just going to say the same thing, that I asked it a question today, and it came out with an answer, and it said, taking into account A, B, and C, which I had said like a week ago.
Yeah.
And it remembers the whole thing. Quite amazing. So it'll be interesting to know where we are in a year from now. Scrolling up to the next one here, we got blog creation. So that's another how-to video that you did there around about ChatGPT for Shopify.
Oh, there, yeah. Bob says that Overdome's meant to be restarting in February. He's just chucked in the chat room.
Interesting. And of course, Overdome, Crypto Arbitrage Trading, and Boomerang 2 is supposed to be restarting. So is that a coincidence? I don't know. We got two there. If I could start my YouTube channel over.
Oh, yeah, it's us.
I find those quite interesting, particularly if we keep them entertaining, because it's always just enjoyable to go online, just like tonight. You get good practice at actually doing it better next time.
We don't get good traffic on them, though, which is a bit of a shame, really. It's sort of hard, isn't it? Because that's 56 views on that one. We put a lot of energy into it. Even tonight, we don't know how we'll go, but now I've created a blog and embedded the video in the blog, and also I'm broadcasting on 7 different platforms. Who knows?
I think if I had my makeup on, we'd get like an extra 3 views. We Joseph Trent, Trade Tech there. So that's basically dead and buried.
Well, that was brilliant actually, because in that video we found out that he was actually on the dole, and he because he flipped through something on his phone, we found he had an appointment that he had to keep on a weekly basis, and somebody noticed that the appointment that he had was for he had to check in every week to keep his unemployment going. So we wrote to that organisation saying that here's a video of him, and he was claiming he's making $450 a day, and he's on the dole. The next day he went to Dubai, and then the scam fell over, and then he was on to promoting Bitfoot, which is another scam. Within 24 hours, he didn't even blink. He was on to promote another scam. And then we found out that May Summervu was also promoting the same scam. Well, there you are again, Rob. You're in there again. Look, you're even in pink.
Everywhere, even when I don't know that I had anything to do with it. It was a little bit... Guilty by Association, Tammy Jackson and Megan Lynch. I haven't heard that name before.
No, she's not a big scammer, but she was if you look at her Instagram and everything, she was claiming that she was some sort of coach or hero, and Tammy was trying to coerce her into being involved in her new community that she was building. But we had phone calls with her, and I talked to her online and tried to warn her as much as possible. And she was basically saying, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And what are you doing in there? If it's a scam, how come you're in there?" And I'm trying to bust it. And she goes, "Oh, whatever." Oh,
I think I can remember that actually. On the next one, we got Ryan, who's one of your friends. And what have we got? Aquamarine again, X-Bill. So that was basically a rehash of those older ones, and the Financial Freedom Team and something like Douglas Herdum.
Yeah, these are quite good because this shows how much overlapping there is. I think we might have Grace in there. We've got Joseph Tran, and then we've got a few of the old favourites all in there, and We Are All Satoshi. So this was actually Joseph Tran when he was at the airport on the way to Dubai to have a meeting with the trades people before it fell over. And 2 days later it fell over and he was off promoting another scheme. The Ryan one though is quite interesting because that Ryan was This Is Your Life. And we went through and mentioned all the things. I was even dressed up for that one that Ryan had been promoting since he's a serial Ponzi scheme scammer. And it's quite breathtaking. Now, it's just the other day we rang up, we was talking to Ryan on the phone 4 days ago. So everything we're doing here is quite, it's still happening. And the lady that rang me up was, because Ryan got kicked off WhatsApp, somebody posted I think Bob was in the chat room now, posted the phone number to contact him in case of emergency. So I sent the lady a text. Next minute, this lady rings me up, and Ryan's in the background, and she claims to be Ryan's coach. So I said some really hard-hitting truths to her. I said, he's really dangerous. I would be fearful of my life. I said, the guy's wanted by the IRS for unpaid taxes, 6-figure income. He hides in Bali because he can't go to any other country of the world because he's going to be arrested. I would be fearful of being around the guy. So please watch yourself. And she was freaking out. And I thought, this is freaking hilarious. And then I had the joy of telling Ryan that I insinuated to somebody he's working with that he had taken $100,000 off me and put it into his bank account and not forwarded onto and I told him about it. So I wanted him to see it coming. But, it's just, I just caused disruption as much as I could, really.
You're a naughty boy.
A naughty boy.
Here, the Global Financial Crime Summit, which I think was what was that? Was that you talking?
Oh, Susie's in here. I hear these noises. Susie's in here. Hello, Susie. I didn't see you there. Sorry, guys. Oh, Lisa Jane's here. Everyone's here, and I haven't scrolled down. So sorry, guys. Don't think Danny even knows about that yet. Molecular Metaverse. Bob was awesome. Oh, I've got to watch some videos. I've had a bit of time off because I've been dizzy lately, and I'm trying to get myself some good sleep at 12:30 at night. Sorry, but Rob, yeah.
No. So that Global Financial Crime Summit one, was that like a summary before or after or during?
I have a feeling it might have been to promote the blog that I did about the event that I was about to go to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got Sriyesh Tawiri.
Oh, that was funny. I
think
his wife came and told him off.
Really angry.
Yeah, he did. He's going, "If you," and I'm going, "If you," and he's going, "If you," and I go, "You're a scammer," and he goes, "I'm not." He does. I do networking. I said, "No, networking. You're a scammer." It was so funny, but you had to be there, really.
I shouldn't have enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was funny. The short was better because he's yelling at me down the thing in Indian. It's quite funny, really. Was it? Well, hold on. Susie's got a comment in here, Rob. What you say? Found a woman that was in Boomerang that is also now in Future Metaverse. I've never heard of this Future Metaverse. We better do a thingy on that.
Future Multiverse.
Oh, and that you were in this meeting when this Gold Rush come in here. This is Kassan, and he was the guy that was trying to get his name, because now this guy, scammer guy, was trying to get his name cleaned off the internet, and he was trying to come and ruin me on my own broadcast by telling a whole lot of bunch of lies. So he was angry, but he'd put £140,000 into a Space Invader game that was gold backed, lost it all, had his games taken off him, and then to shut him up and to turn him against me, they gave him back his game. And then he tried to ruin me.
Long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was 2 years ago. Oh, so, mate, look at this one.
He detained in Dubai.
That was my biggest video for a wee while. 3,600 people viewed that. DK's back. There's something going down, Rob, that we don't know about yet. They're all connected. They can't hide. Dr. K is back. Dr. K.
Oh, that'll be the one that we spoke about, or maybe they're just actually catching up on on the
Oh,
video. And
they might be watching us on 2 times. We should talk really fast for we won't make it really hard for them when they are back. Yeah.
But we got Sam, who was detained in Dubai, but what, he's out now?
Yeah, well, so he says, which he would be speaking from Dubai. He was detained, but I got Men in Black telephoned me. First of all, they messaged me and they said, we want to talk to you. My guy talked to me on the phone, so it's got some great news. We don't know. We're a bit sketchy with the details, but Sam Lee's been detained in Dubai. And I go, oh, wow, thanks for telling me that. So I did that video. Everyone was like, oh, we don't know if it's true or not. 2 weeks later, we found out from Bloomberg that Sam had messaged Alice, the Bloomberg reporter, saying that he's out and he got served a what do they call that thing? A red light?
A red notice.
Yeah, by Intel. Intel? What is it? Not Intel? Not Intel. What's the other one? Interpol. We've got ducking going on here because you spoke and I didn't hear the noise. So Interpol served a red notice. Sam got wind of it, decided to go to Dubai police, hand himself in to help with the investigation, so he says, and then got released about 7 days later and currently is out and wandering the streets of Dubai again, so he claims. So there's no justice. But as I always said, he probably wasn't detained for his connection with Hyperverse. It was more likely to be the $58 million that disappeared from Australian shores. So that's my guess on it all.
So the next one there is more about Ryan, so we'll move on about that.
Oh, come on. The guy admits he's on kettling. I mean, that's brilliant. And he's been off it for 5 days. Now he's back on it. Brilliant. Local?
He actually scared me when I was watching. Well, I was on a video with you, I think, and I just thought, oh, Bruce. But the other one there, exposing local city places scam. What was that?
It's a silly directory thing where people who've got businesses basically get people to write reviews about their business, and then they go to the business that's got the reviews and entice them to buy a listing on the website. But it's the guy that claims that he's paying people for all their reviews and their listings never pays anyone. So everyone hates him. But it's just another Ponzi scheme scam, which some guy who seems to be running it seems to be getting away with, as far as I'm concerned.
Fantastic. On the next one, we got more about Trade Tech, which, of course, as everybody knows, has fallen over. There's a drop shipping one up there for home lighting, My Somerville as well. But what's this? Exposing investment Oak Smart MLM, which is one, just above you.
That was a crack up because there was a bunch of New Zealanders in a Zoom meeting, and the lady was, hey bro, how you doing, dear cuz? Hey, we're going to get you into this, and I'll read this to you. She read the PowerPoint presentation out to us, and at the end of it, I turned on the mic, and unfortunately, you couldn't hear her on the recording, but you could hear me asking all the questions. Do you realise this is a scam? And she goes, what are you picking on me for? And I said, I'm just trying to get ahead. And I said, well, why are you scamming from people who are just trying to get ahead as well? It's really bad. But it's actually been in behind MLM. It's a worldwide scam, and it's quite big. But it's disgusting. And how they all work, they're all pretty much the same. You get a commission if you push somebody into something that's a pile of shit. That's really the short of it.
Right. So there have been quite a few new things that are coming up. Just scroll up one more, and you'll see Exposing Smart Lab.
Yeah, that was a crack up. Oh, Mark. Bob did really well with that one as well. Oak Smart, that's right. Yeah, so that was brilliant because we managed to really hunt down the guy that was promoting it. He promised that we've destroyed his life. Sorry?
So this is Smart Labs.
Same thing.
Oh, right. Okay. Where you go?
So they were saying that people could go to an all-expensive trip, I think to Egypt, Cairo, I think it was, and they basically said they would pay $1,000 towards their travel, and we managed to capture a guy that was in it, and then he claimed that he was going to delete his website. He was removing everything off his social media, and he promised he wouldn't promote it anymore because he thought I was the FBI. We did sort of insinuate we could be the FBI. Anyway, long story short, yeah, he was buggered. Smart Lab? Yeah, that's right. Oh, Susie's in the chat room going for it. She's good. So that was quite funny. But anyway, next minute we get a photo of the guy on the airport runway with his partner off to Egypt. He was just full of shit. So don't believe any of these bastards that's how they clean up that. They're just trying to not get their name out there. So here he is here actually, Mark Daly. So, I had photos of his motorbikes, and I said, oh, you won't have them for much longer. They'll be confiscated. And he didn't realise that I was filming live, and it was a crack up. It was one of my funniest ever. But we got him on, and he started talking to us, and once again, we were broadcasting live. It was brilliant.
Now, that one there, the truth behind Get Fit, Move Quest, MQT, Pump and Dump, what's that all about?
That was pretty cool. This guy is called Bradford. What's his name? Quentin Bradford. And he's a YouTuber, and he's promoted 32 scams that we knew of, including he's now promoting Get Fit and Move Quest. And to me, it's a pump and dump scheme. I would love to flip off to another screen and see what it's worth now. But he took exception to me going after him, and he did 2 copyright strikes on my videos, and I won both of them back once again. But he was, because he had removed he was making my comments not visible, but talking about me like I was not replying. So I proved it in a 60-second video that he was not allowing my comments to be visible, and exposed him even some more. But I think he was a bit mortified, but he's still promoting Get Fit, and yeah, he's just an idiot. Well, they're all idiots. They just get sick of them.
So who's this Walter Meyer?
Well, I didn't know his name, and he was promoting. Where are you reading him from? Right. Oh, there. So, yeah, I don't recognise his face. It doesn't look like that in real life, but that's the only best photo I could find of him. But he's promoting Bid Harvest with Jan Gregory and another guy that everyone knows, Andy, I think his name is. And that was really funny because we got to ask him in a funny voice about the cease and desist order that the state of California has put on Bit Harvest, and he gave us his version of how we should just ignore it and not promote it in that state. And then Andy comes along and raves on about, you know, how the state of California don't know what they're talking about, and you just need to ignore these government warnings and all this sort of shit. But anyway, at the time I didn't know his real name because he was using the name Jan Gregory. And then I stumbled across his Facebook page, and obviously the rest is history. His face is all over the place now. Yeah.
So we're getting close to the finish, and if we scroll up, we'll come into Auratus Gold. Now, before you tell us about this, one thing that I want you to consider is taking into account the size of the crypto projects that you were looking into a year ago, and Auratus Gold or any of these that we've spoken about in the recent times here. Like, are they anywhere near as large as they were a year ago?
Well, this is just a rinse and repeat and a rebrand, reskin of GS Partners. I think that these videos that I managed to get my hands on are secret videos, and GS Partners tells them that they're not allowed to record and upload their videos when they're doing their Zoom meetings. And if they do have any videos on, they're only allowed to be on for 24 hours. So it's all like there's a hidden criminal network that's trying to recruit people. So I would have to say yes and no. I don't think it's going like wildfire, but the strategies that these scammers are using are more violent, more subtle. So just the video of all the pictures of the faces of the kids, what they're doing is they're using Instagram Reels, and they're using their children to generate leads. And in these videos that have all been banned in Australia now, So if you're listening to this video, you would have to put a VPN on or go to Rumble and find my YouTube channel there. And they're educating other people in Zoom meetings how to generate leads. And it's actually got disgusting. And that's what probably the best way I can describe it. But ironically, I've exposed the shit out of them, and they've tried to cover up the videos as much as they can. So I'm quite pleased about the disruption I've caused.
Yeah, no, it isn't, and I don't know if I'm just, I don't know why I feel that things are shrinking, or just maybe that there's, like other large ones that we haven't heard of, or who knows. But so we've got Sam Lee, he was released.
I think a good point. Something else, Rob, is I went through and added up how many videos I did in a month, and I did 72 the month I counted. So at one stage, I'm pinging out videos at 50 to 70 per month. Now that's a lot of videos, a lot of content, and I think you become a bit numb with it. And when even just doing what we're doing tonight, actually is amazing to go through the last 12 months worth of videos. These are not all my videos. This is probably 40% of the videos I've done that I've published as reels. The rest are all lives. Some of my lives are like this, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours long. So you get a bit numb to it. But it is actually quite eye-opening when you think about how people are justifying making their passive incomes these days.
Yeah, it is amazing. So we've got Sam Lee there. You've got a drop shipping website. Andrew Caesar is Crypto Tech. So that's in where all, Satoshi?
Yeah, Susie and George actually found that out. We've actually got a photo of him ages ago, but I was trying to figure out who he was, and I actually went back and updated this after I found out. But Andrew Caesar also has a son, and we found their company. We found enough about him, but there's no recent photos or images of him on the internet. He always comes out as a cartoon or a cow, as you can see, which is quite, And the Sam Lee video over to the left there, mate. Yeah, some of these videos, even though these are recent, they're linked back to 2.5 years ago. Now, that video there is actually a statement from Bloomberg Weekly, where Chavez claims to have 120 staff, also claims that Visa is backing his 9pay credit card. And Visa have come out with a public statement and saying they don't even know who he is and have no connection with him whatsoever. That's 8 months worth of me corresponding with Alice, the Bloomberg reporter. Just that one video, so some of this stuff is, all these scams are all linked together, which is just ridiculous, really.
So I'm going to kind of round it up right now by asking you some general questions about 2024 and 2025.
Yeah.
First thing is, when you look back on 2024, what is the one project that stands above all others?
Good question. What project stands out more? It's still Hyperverse to me, because that's the cornerstone of everything. I don't think anything else has trumped that. Hyperverse is really, it's done my apprenticeship with it. It's like my trade is Hyperverse and how it's all connected. Right through to Tammy Jackson's, Gobies, to, Sheila Morris's, to Tracy's, the truck drivers. They're all connected. They haven't gone away. And it's not a very big circle. It's actually quite a tight criminal network. That's why I wish I could clean it up, because I know everyone in this industry.
If there was one video that you were particularly proud about, or that you think of or remember the most for 2024, what would it be?
Have to be the one with Yvonne Henry scamming with Sam Lee. Someone local to me in Australia. I'm a New Zealander. Sam Lee, who's from Melbourne, in Dubai, working an Australian couple. I mean, you don't get any better than that. And be the only person that viewed that video and managed to get my hands on it and rebroadcast it, but then using it to contact ASIC and, the OTA and nothing happening. It just shows you that sometimes you feel like you're winning a losing battle.
What would be the funniest moment you've had doing your videos this year?
Oh, well, I think of the one with Grace, me driving to work and Grace not realising she's talking to the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. And then somebody in the background, you know, that's Danny. And then I'm telling her, and she's trying to kick me out of there, and she can't find the kick button. And I'm saying, do you realise that Satoshi's been issued a cease and desist order, blah, 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 blah. You know, and she's trying to kick me out. And I managed to get about 3 minutes of airtime on her meeting, exposing her. That was pretty cool.
Classic. Of the things that you've done, not including anything online, so not including anything on your YouTube channel, what would be the highlight of the year out of, you know, any of the interviews that you've had? Anything not involved directly with YouTube and creating a video.
Well, definitely the going to the global financial and meeting all the people who do the same job as me, you know, and meeting people like Aaron West, meeting special agents that are US based in Sydney, meeting King Gamble, also even having a conversation with people from the United Nations and actually giving them intel that they jumped up on the stage an hour and a half after I gave the guy a PDF that I had 8 months prior, and then he's talking about that PDF in his presentation, and I gave it to him just before he went on stage, not because he didn't have it, but I wanted to see if he knew the person that was gathering information on it. And then I realised that I'm not just anybody in this fight. I'm somebody, and I'm connected to people. I even had the special agent doing a dig up on these Australians to see if he can, profile anyone that may be a key player. So just the connections from that one, and then, I'll do everything I can next year to get to the next one. And even like Jim Browning is connected to Ken Gamble. So if I want to, I can ask, if I have a big lead, I can certainly get in front of the right people who can make a difference, simply because of that one 2-day event that I had. And I'm good at collecting phone numbers, and I've got their phone numbers. I'm chatting to them on LinkedIn, and it's pretty cool.
So 2025 will be coming up in basically a day from now, 24 hours from now. Where do you see your videos going, or your channel going, or even you going in 2025?
Well, I hope I can continue. It's very hard financially at the moment for me. So it's not a money exercise, but I'm really hoping that the documentary that's going to be coming out in January, I hope that launches me as a YouTuber more. I definitely need more visits, I need more subscribers, and I need more recognition. However, that will probably bite me on the bum, because I think people will go after me more the more publicity I get. So, for example, the 25,000 subscribers I had yesterday have all gone because YouTube's cleaned them all up for me, thank you. But people will go after me more. So it may be a two-edged sword, getting more recognition, but I think that's where I want to do. I think we can tidy up. Look, I've changed my format around a little bit lately. I'm going after some of the smaller scams. I'm not CoffeeZilla. I'm not going to stick my neck out in the line with some of these big boys that have got millions of dollars. He's just did a series of 2 or 3 videos the other day, and I watched them and I think, oh my God, that would scare the shit out of me. But I feel quite comfortable going after the people. Like Chavis does not bother me at all. Anyone that threatens to take me to court, I would relish the opportunity, because I think I have overwhelming evidence, to show that these guys have been doing the crimes, and there's enough government warnings out there to prove that they have been told to stop and they're not.
Danny, thank you very much. There's been a very full video, I think, and it's been quite amazing. I can, as I said at the beginning of this video, I can think back when the Christmas present came out a year ago, just over a year ago, and man, so much has happened in the last year. going through your videos, and those are just the videos. There's live ones which are additional. There's the shorts, and there's of course all these things that you've been to. The media involvement has been a very, very full year. So thank you very much for your time, Danny, and having me on this little YouTuber, giving me some exposure on your big channel.
I'll tell everyone to subscribe to your channel, Rob. Subscribe to Brothers channel. There you go. Yeah, no. And it is actually, I tell you what though, Rob, it's not about the numbers. It really is about, making, I mean, I'm surprised the influence I have with the small numbers I have in my channel. And when you hear that these people like Shavis, who claim to have 250,000 people in their networks using their products or services, and they're in there talking about me, like the other day, Shavis called me gay. Like there's something wrong with gay people. And I'm thinking, well, it's just so awesome that he feels he has to have, so we're making a difference. And the Avengers, even the Avengers that we've got in the chat room at the moment, are chatting away here, and it's really nice. And I do think we can make a difference. And I believe that we'll get better. And it might be a 5-year battle, but I think one day when we do a video, and people might come to our channel to figure out whether something's a scam or not, because they know that what we say is, is to the best of our knowledge, true and genuine, and it's going to be awesome. So thank you, Rob. It's been good.
I'm just the support person on the side, but no, I think you've done a wonderful job. And I think that you've held the Avenger team together and made it grow. And it's been quite fun working in the background.
Yeah, and I think that's a good message too. With the Avengers, we really would want other people who may have even been promoting. Like, can you just get his name right? What's Captain's name? Elise Mincy? Say it again.
Well, I think it's Elitis.
Elitis Mincy. He used to promote Ponzi schemes, not knowing it. And then when he found out, he turned around and now he's a rampant YouTuber in our team. And if we can get more people helping us, sharing our videos, and even if you have been promoting these things, you've had enough and you've lost your money, you just want to get out of it and do a bit of exposing, then reach out to us. There isn't them and us. We just want to stop people losing their money, especially their superannuation. I'm so tired of these phone calls where people ring me up and telling me they've, one lady 3 or 4 weeks ago, $500,000 gone. She's even sold her house to keep paying into a scam at one stage. She used to flip houses for a living, and then you hear the, guy the other day, $800,000. I was at that conference, somebody $1.8 million, all lost to these, exchanges or these platforms that do day trading and all this sort of carry on. But when you feel like I've had enough of promoting this rubbish and you want to turn your ways around, then come reach out to the Avengers. We'll be happy to take you on board. I'm sure your intel would be valuable to us.
I think you've just reminded me of one thing, the late, great Keith Williams. Years ago, I remember being out at walk and I was listening to one of your videos when you were playing one of their meetings, and he was saying to people that had had enough, had lost faith, whatever, if you're going to leave quietly. And I think the best thing to possibly do is, if you've had enough, if you're going to go, don't leave quietly.
Yeah, I remember those words. If you've had enough, leave quietly. Basically, close the door quietly on the way out and leave everyone else in the room. It's incredible, isn't it? No, good stuff, Rob. Oh, thanks for interviewing me. Thanks for the opportunity of everyone that's in the chat room. And if you're watching the rerun, please do like and subscribe and do all those wonderful things. And it's good night from him with his big thumb on the window, and it's good night from me. It's not the two Ronnies, but that's the Danny and the. I can't do that on mine. You've got your.
Do it on mine.
Look at that. And if I go like that, it's meant to do the same thing, but Rob's got it set up to do the emojis. Is that one? Look at that. Can you do balloons? How do we do balloons? Is that balloons?
I don't know. Is it?
No, balloons are like that, I think. I love hearts. Look at that. It's brilliant. All right. Hey, thanks, everyone. And thanks, Lisa Jane. Nice to see you here. See you, Susie. And everyone have a happy new year. Don't drink too much. We're going to make it I tell you something. Helen and I have decided we're going to stop drinking this year. So if you don't have, because we're both using it to, we're a bit down at the moment, so we're using alcohol to, what do you call it? To self-medicate. So she said to me today, let's stop drinking. So I've done it twice. So if you don't tell people these things, there's no accountability. So I'm telling people that I'm stopping drinking for a year, not forever, just for a year, and that's what we're going to do. The New Year resolution for us. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on. But if you want to give us your old alcohol, we've got one more day to drink it. Yeah. All right. See you guys. Yep. Bye-bye. Here we go. We're off. It's good, mate. Oh, that'd be quite good, won't it?
I think so.